Ferrari is promising to challenge McLaren and Verstappen this weekend. Red Bull gets what it wanted, as new FIA rule will gain them up to 2/10, and F1 holds more talks to bring back V10s. Do consider subbing. Let's get into the latest F1 news. In a thrilling turn of events in the world of Formula One, McLaren's strategy might face a significant challenge. Recent technical changes announced by the FIA signal a potential shakeup for the team that has had a strong start in the 2025 season. As they prepare for the upcoming Chinese Grand Prix, McLaren is not just riding high on their recent wins. They are also racing against regulatory changes concerning flexing wings, a long-standing controversy. The FIA has brought forth a new directive, reinforcing stricter deflection tests on rear wings, a move aimed at controlling what has been a persistent issue in F1. This new technical directive, known as TD055A, introduces tougher static load test limits, which will apply starting from the Chinese Grand Prix. Despite passing tests in Australia, where visual evidence of excessive wing flexibility was noted among several teams, the FIA has decided to take action. This could impact teams like McLaren that have been utilizing innovative designs for performance gains. The voices of F1 insiders are echoing concerns about how these changes could affect McLaren. Johnny Herbert, a veteran driver and now a respected pundit, warns that the team's competitive edge may diminish. From his perspective, the adjustments implemented by the FIA come at a critical moment, just after McLaren's impressive showing at Albert Park, where they outperformed many competitors and set a high bar for the 2025 season. Herbert elaborates on how McLaren's rear wing design has been pivotal. The unique engineering allows for precise adjustments that can provide them with an edge, a phenomenon that may now be curtailed by the FIA's new regulations. He reflects on the fine mechanics of the flexing wing, particularly its components, including the relation between the main plane and the DRS flap. In racing, even small advantages matter. Any extra millimeter of adjustment could lead to significant performance enhancements, especially in high-speed scenarios. More importantly, Herbert underscores that this tightening of regulations might put McLaren back in the pack. He points out that while they may gain speed and efficiency thanks to innovative design, other teams will be watching closely and seeking any advantages within the rules. If McLaren's wing is found to offer a measurable advantage, it's likely that rivals will quickly bring it to the FIA's attention, leading to even tighter scrutiny. Ultimately, as the teams gear up for a challenging season, the pressure is on McLaren not only to maintain performance, but also to adapt swiftly to the evolving technical regulations. Could these changes signal the end of their advantage, or will they find new ways to innovate while staying within the guidelines set by the FIA? It remains to be seen how each competitor will respond as the 2025 season unfolds. The race isn't just on the track, but also behind the scenes in the engineering departments. What's clear is that flexibility in F1 goes beyond performance. It's also about navigating the complex regulatory landscape. Stay tuned, because as the season progresses, the impact of these developments on McLaren and its pursuit of success could be palpable. As we delve deeper into the ongoing flexi-wing saga in Formula One, it's evident that this issue is causing quite a stir among teams and regulators alike. The FIA has made it clear they're not offering any additional flexibility. Last season, McLaren explored this opportunity, but with recent checks in Australia, they've tightened the reins even further, limiting teams to just 20 millimeters. Interestingly, while the rules aim for rigidity, complete inflexibility is nearly impossible. F1 is about pushing boundaries, and there are always small performance gains to seize. This tightening of regulations could potentially shift the competitive balance among teams. What's intriguing is how another team's advantage can prompt a scramble among their rivals to close the gap. Often, it's a single team, like McLaren this time, that finds a way to make the most of the situation. This dynamic is central to Formula One. Teams are constantly innovating to outdo each other. In a recent conversation, Johnny Herbert shared his insights into Max Verstappen's situation. He hinted that if all elements at Verstappen's current team aren't aligned, it might lead to some changes. Also, Herbert has expressed his feelings about being let go by the FIA. suggesting that internal politics may have played a role in his departure. Meanwhile, Lewis Hamilton is making waves at Ferrari. His influence already seems to be contributing positively to their performance, and fans are eager to see how that unfolds. Formula One always serves up a mix of controversy, strategy, and drama. Take, for instance, the debate around the return of V10 engines. Is it worth revisiting the past for a more thrilling experience on the track? And what's brewing for the Chinese Grand Prix as we face a new set of questions? As we move through this season, expect excitement and surprises as teams navigate the ever-evolving landscape of Formula One. With each race, the stakes are higher and fans are in for a thrilling ride. Make sure to follow Planet F1 for all the breaking news and updates as the season progresses. Lewis Hamilton has made waves in the Formula One world with his recent move from Mercedes to Ferrari for the 2025 season. This anticipated change came after Hamilton activated a release clause in his Mercedes contract before the start of the 2024 season. Yet, as the Australian Grand Prix marked his debut with Ferrari, the results were far from what fans expected. Hamilton's performance in Melbourne has caused quite a stir, with many observers, including former F1 driver Christian Danner, labeling him as completely out of his depth. The seven-time world champion managed to qualify in P8 and finish the race in P10, trailing behind his teammate Charles Leclerc, who crossed the line in P8. The stark contrast between the two drivers has raised eyebrows and led to criticisms about Hamilton's adaptation to the new team. Danner emphasized that it is Hamilton's responsibility to adapt to Ferrari's setup rather than the team modifying their approach for him. He pointed out a concerning moment in the race where McLaren's Oscar Piastri managed to overtake Hamilton towards the end. Piastri executed a remarkable move, going around the outside of Hamilton into turn 11, showcasing an agility that seemed alarming for a driver of Hamilton's caliber. Danner remarked that such a maneuver from Piastri, who recovered after spinning out from P2, would never have happened to Hamilton in his past. This moment exemplified a larger issue, as Danner believes it highlights Hamilton's slower pace compared to Leclerc. As Hamilton spends more time with Ferrari, he acknowledges the need to adapt to the unique driving style, engine dynamics, and settings required for the SF25. He mentioned wanting to acclimatize to the car, implying that a change in his driving style would be necessary to extract its full potential. However, Danner flagged a potential dilemma for Hamilton with this adjustment process. In the ever-competitive world of F1, drives like Hamilton's debut are closely scrutinized, especially when shifting teams. Hamilton's journey with Ferrari is just beginning, and the need to quickly adapt to new challenges seems more pressing than ever. Fans and critics alike are keen to see how he will respond in the coming races, especially in light of such a rocky start. Despite the criticism, Hamilton's talent and experience cannot be overlooked, leaving many to wonder if he can find his rhythm and reclaim his dominant form with Ferrari. As Lewis Hamilton navigates his transition to Ferrari, the complexities of adapting to a new car have become clear. Renowned motorsport expert Danner suggests that the issue lies not just in Hamilton's driving style, but in how the Ferrari SF25 handles on the track. He emphasized that the car feels too aggressive and struggles with understeer and rear axle nervousness during turns. Hamilton himself has openly discussed his challenges with the Ferrari system, admitting that it's been a steep learning curve. After a difficult race, he revealed, "I had a very tricky balance, and keeping the car on track was tricky. This race proved to be one of the most difficult experiences in recent years, highlighting the steep obstacles he faces." Despite these hurdles, Hamilton showed resilience on track. He maintained his composure under pressure, taking the lead when varying weather conditions could have compromised his performance. That moment of clarity amidst chaos is a testament to his experience, even as he struggled with the overall pace of the car. "I learned a lot from the car today," he noted, indicating his willingness to push through. However, Hamilton is aware that improvements are necessary. He pointed out that the balance of the car has been very complicated and that there's significant work ahead to get the setup where it needs to be. His acknowledgement of needing to adapt more suggests that he is committed to the journey ahead. As Hamilton confronts these challenges, the focus will be on how the Ferrari team responds and evolves in upcoming races. The internal dynamics with teammate Charles Leclerc will also play a crucial role in navigating this transition. With the right adjustments, fans are eager to see if Hamilton can rebound and reclaim his renown in the world of Formula One. The journey towards finding harmony with the Ferrari machine is just beginning, but the resilience and determination that Hamilton embodies will be essential in writing this next chapter of his illustrious career. As always, F1 enthusiasts will be watching closely to see how this story unfolds. In the ever-evolving world of Formula One, predictions about driver movements create a buzz among fans and pundits alike. Recently, McLaren Racing CEO Zak Brown has stepped into the spotlight with some bold claims regarding Max Verstappen's future. According to Brown, he believes that Verstappen will bid farewell to Red Bull after the 2025 season. But where will he land next? Brown sees Mercedes as the frontrunner for Verstappen's signature, emphasizing that under the new engine regulations set to debut in 2026, Mercedes is poised to dominate the grid. This comes at a time when Verstappen aims to create history by clinching an astonishing 5th consecutive world championship in the upcoming season. During a recent Grand Prix in Australia, Verstappen found himself in a nail-biting competition, finishing just shy of victory as he trailed McLaren's Lando Norris. Although he managed to secure second place, Verstappen remained pragmatic about his team's performance, admitting that the Red Bull RB21 still lacks the pace needed to secure wins consistently. He acknowledged the work that lies ahead to contend for more victories, especially with the next challenge, the Chinese Grand Prix. The relationship between Verstappen and Red Bull has been a story of remarkable success, but it hasn't been without its challenges. After a tumultuous season where Verstappen struggled with performance, discussions surrounding his potential departure have gained traction. Notably, Red Bull senior figures have hinted at a performance-related clause in Verstappen's contract, further fueling speculation about his future. As we look toward 2026, potential alternatives are emerging. Brown has placed his bets on Mercedes as the likely destination for Verstappen, although Aston Martin has also been mentioned, especially with the legendary Adrian Newey joining their design team. However, despite the allure of joining forces with Newey, Brown underscores the importance of a complete team environment, pointing out that culture and cohesion are vital components of success. Brown's confidence in Mercedes is backed by their historical performance. Over the past decade, they've captured the championship title multiple times, and as Brown notes, they are stable and focused. Not to mention, their recent prowess in crafting winning power units positions them advantageously as F1 prepares for this significant technology shift. In Brown's view, if you're looking for a safe bet on Verstappen's future, it leans firmly towards Mercedes. With Toto Wolff leading the charge and a robust team behind them, it's a tempting prospect for any top driver aiming to secure more championships. As the F1 community anticipates the unfolding of these events, all eyes will be on both Verstappen and the teams vying to secure his talent. The next couple of years promise to set the stage for some thrilling developments in the world of Formula One. Will Verstappen stay with Red Bull, push for a new legacy elsewhere, or will he follow Brown's prediction to Mercedes? Only time will tell. As we dive deeper into the world of Formula One, changes are afoot, particularly highlighted by the FIA's latest flexi-wing directives as they prepare for the upcoming Chinese Grand Prix. Toto Wolff, the Mercedes team principal, has been open about his thoughts on driver contracts as they enter a pivotal season. During the Australian GP, he mentioned that George Russell is out of contract at the end of this season. This places additional importance on the negotiations happening behind the scenes. Wolff emphasized that he and Russell are on the same page regarding the timing of contract discussions. Their goal? To solidify their driver lineup without disrupting the racing season. Wolff reflected on his commitment to his current driver pairing. He stated, "I won't flirt outside if I'm in a good relationship," indicating his focus on Russell and Kimi Antonelli. He reassured fans that they can expect updates soon about Russell's new contract, reinforcing the sense of stability that Mercedes seeks. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen's contract situation remains a topic of discussion. Wolff asserted that signing Verstappen is not currently on his radar, reiterating that discussions are firmly grounded in the present. His clear commitment to Russell and Antonelli paints a picture of a team with defined priorities. On another note, F1 drivers face increasing pressure to maintain clean records on the track, especially with the penalty point system that has both Verstappen and Alonso on the brink of a ban tally as the 2025 season approaches. It sets a high-stakes environment where every move counts, and consistency is key for championship aspirations. In the ever-evolving landscape of F1, the conversations and decisions made now will shape the future of these teams and their drivers. With all eyes on Mercedes and the upcoming events, fans are eager to see how these alliances will play out as the season progresses. Stay tuned for more updates and analysis as we follow the thrilling journey of Formula One. Formula One is no stranger to change, but recent developments surrounding the proposed regulations for 2026 have sent shockwaves through the motorsport community. As we head into the vibrant world of F1, there is growing talk about a significant shift back to V10 engines, a move that hasn't been seen since 2005. According to reports, stakeholders within Formula One have been discussing the possibility of scrapping the new 2026 rules in favor of these powerful engines, with a potential introduction slated for the 2028 season. This information surfaced after Planet F1 revealed that the FIA has formed a working group to explore the feasibility of reviving the V10 engine concept. The response from engine manufacturers has been tepid at best. They've expressed concerns regarding the relevance of the proposed regulations, which aim for 50% electrification, the use of fully sustainable fuels, and the introduction of active aerodynamics. As fans eagerly anticipate the 2025 season, the final year of the current regulations, these developments could reshape the trajectory of the sport moving forward. The 2026 regulations represent a massive change, arguably among the most significant in Formula One's storied history. Mohammed Ben Sulayem, the FIA president, hinted recently that a return of the V10 engines, now potentially utilizing sustainable fuels, is under consideration as the sport navigates its technical future. Reports from Germany's Auto Motor on Sport suggest that discussions about reinstating the V10s have intensified, and one potential scenario could see the 2026 regulations completely scrapped. In this scenario, the current engine rules could remain in place for another 2-year term before V10s make a comeback in 2028. Another suggestion circulating among stakeholders is that the current rules could still be implemented, but only for a shortened period of 3 years, again paving the way for a return to V10s as early as 2028. For any of these proposals to gain traction, they would need to go through serious discussions among F1 shareholders and ultimately be presented to the F1 Commission, which includes key players from all teams and power unit manufacturers. However, industry insiders believe it's highly unlikely that these parties would agree to abandon the long-fought regulations, especially considering the immense resources devoted to developing these new rules over the past few years. Interestingly, some speculate that these discussions might even be a strategic maneuver. The dramatic idea of swiftly reintroducing V10 engines could serve as a bargaining chip, possibly leading to a compromise like the reintroduction of V8 engines with turbo and hybrid enhancements in the future. But make no mistake, abandoning the 2026 rules just months before their introduction would create a storm of controversy, especially with major manufacturers like Audi F1 preparing to enter the fray. As fans, we can only watch and wait to see how these critical conversations unfold and what impact they might have on the future of Formula One racing. As we dive deeper into the anticipated changes for Formula One in 2026, skepticism surrounds the new engine regulations that pose significant challenges for engine manufacturers. Koji Watanabe, president of Honda Racing Corporation, expressed to media members that they are currently grappling with these very difficult regulations, particularly as they prepare to partner with Aston Martin. Concerns are circulating about the possibility of one team dominating the series at the onset of this new rules cycle. Historically, your performance tends to converge over time as teams adapt to evolving regulations. The debate champions the idea that a simpler, cheaper V10 engine could potentially breathe new life into the competition by allowing for lighter cars after complaints about current vehicle sizes. Interestingly, a return to V10 engines could serve as a safety net against potential withdrawals from major manufacturers. This concern isn't unfounded. Remember the mass exits in 2008-09 when brands like Honda and BMW pulled their F1 projects? By facilitating private suppliers such as Cosworth to produce V10 engines, F1 could ease its dependency on the few major manufacturers currently in play. Some industry insiders suggest that the FIA president's desire to revive V10 engines might not just be about nostalgia. It could also be a strategic move to safeguard the sport from potential backlash if the upcoming changes do not deliver the desired results. Moreover, it's believed that this push for V10s is also aimed at supporting the new Cadillac F1 team, which plans to introduce their engine by 2028. Cadillac's entry into the scene could be particularly interesting. Powered initially by a Ferrari engine, they would shift to their own V10, a leap that many see as more manageable than competing without prior experience against entrenched manufacturers. However, the existing team's opinions on these proposals are divided, often swayed by political motivations and their own readiness for the future. Reports indicate that some manufacturers, perhaps aware of their development delays, are pressing for a rollback of the 2026 rules. As we look ahead, the question remains, how will these evolving dynamics affect powerhouses like Ferrari and Red Bull? Red Bull's new engine division, in collaboration with Ford, is focused on 2026 compliance and would find themselves in a precarious position if there were to be a delay in regulations. Similarly, Audi faces similar challenges as they also invest solely in a 2026 power unit. In this climate of uncertainty, fans are left wondering how these pivotal decisions will shape the racing landscape in the coming seasons.